Hello, and welcome to Reddit Rewind, where we go over Reddit's most ridiculous stories. Beautiful baby ducklings manhandled by EM's disgusting brats. This happened when I was having a cigarette in a quaint country pub garden in the east of England. The place is a stunning countryside dotted with local pubs. Everyone knows who is a local. Every summer, the pubs are filled with rude, disgusting Londoners and their brats. Story time. I had been out in the lovely flowered pub garden a few times already, as I was drinking beers on a gorgeous sunny afternoon with friends. I chain smoke when I drink. Every time I went out, I was thrilled to see this lovely white mother duck tending to her baby ducklings. There were about 7 of them, and the pub staff explained that the mum duck always comes back each day to get food from the staff members and to chill in the sun with her fluffy ducklings. I'm back in the pub with mates when an EM and her 4 snooty, loud, disgusting brats enter. They proceed to make loads of noise and generally ruin the vibes. We ignore them. After a while, I walk outside for a final smoke and I'm followed by EM and her brats. It turns out EM smokes too. We both light up and ignore each other, and immediately her brats spot the mother duck and her babies. They all squeal and run over to the birds. To be honest, they were so loud I looked at the mom already expecting her to say something reasonable like, "Calm down, guys, you don't want to scare the babies." But instead, she just watched her brats fondly. I watched the mother duck panic and try to usher her babies away from the EKs, but they all ran up and surrounded the birds, trapping them all in a corner by the wall. They then proceeded to start grabbing at the babies and roughly trying to pick them up. The mother duck and her babies started to quack in panic. Outraged, I look at the EM and see she is still smiling at her brats as if this was the sweetest thing in the world. So I turn back to the EKs and shout, "Don't touch the babies, just look at them." EM turns to me with a screwed up face and says, "How dare you speak to my children like that? They aren't doing any harm." I look back to see all the EKs still grabbing at the babies and distressing the mum. One of the EKs is even picking up a baby duckling by its wing. I scream, "Put those effing babies down now, you little jerks!" The mum turns to me with a death stare and starts to say, "If you talk to my babies like that again..." At this point, I look at her with an even deadlier stare and I say in a shaking voice, "That duck is a mother too. And if you don't do something, I will manhandle your babies the way they are handling hers." The mother looked at me like she was going to argue, but saw I wasn't kidding. She shouted her brats over and stormed inside. I finished my cigarette and watched the ducks leave the garden looking panicked. When I got back to my table, my mate said the woman was making a complaint about me to the bar staff. They came over and said the EM told them I threatened her kids. I told them her EKs were grabbing the ducklings and I politely asked them to stop. I denied the threat. They asked EM whether her brats had grabbed the ducklings and she said, "They only wanted to hold them. They wouldn't hurt a fly." The bar staff told her and her brats to leave, and when she kicked up a fuss, they said, "Those ducks are locals, lady. F off." Yeah, so I guess the moral of that story is, if you're a tourist, be mindful of the locals, even the animals. And all the EMs and Karens out there, please watch your kids and don't let them abuse animals. They didn't do anything to you. Please leave them alone. So I looked through the comments section and found these posts here that I thought were relevant, so I'm going to read the first one. As a fellow bartender, I approve of what the staff did. I would have 100% backed up the mama duck. I used to work in a pub that had stray cats come in the garden. They kept the rats away, and they weren't feral. So we would feed them, get them their shots and the snip through donations and stuff. I'd have to explain to a few randos that the cats were family. They were simply drunk idiots that turned up once, and if they messed with the cats, they would be asked to leave immediately. The locals understand the deal. If the cats wanted fuss, they were to give fuss. If they wanted to be left alone, they were to be left alone. Never once saw a rat or a mouse when I worked there. Can't say that for any other pub I've worked in. I've worked in some right holes. Well, yeah, another prime example of why you leave the local animals alone. Some cases, they serve a purpose, and yeah, just don't abuse them. Let them be. Second post I found in the comment section. I have a duck-related story. I live in the county in California with the largest lake entirely inside California and the oldest lake in North America. My friend and I were eating at a Mexican restaurant on the lakeside when I saw about 4 to 5 kids between the ages of 6 and 12 on the boat launch. To the left of the restaurant is a boat launch. Further left is the county park. To the right, there is a low-income housing area of rundown trailers. There are a ton of ducks and geese that hang around this area, as it's right next to a county park, and people feed them. I was watching them curiously, and they seemed to be throwing bread at the ducks. And then I realized what they were doing. They had fish hooks in the bread attaching a fishing line, and they were trying to get the ducks to eat the hooks. I don't know if it was out of cruelty or if they were trying to catch ducks to kill and eat, which is illegal, out of season, and animal cruelty. So I got up quickly, went outside, and walked up to the kids. I'm 6'3" and 230 pounds, so I can be intimidating when angry, and I was pissed. I yelled at them and asked what they thought they were doing. The oldest said they were feeding ducks, and I said something along the lines of BS. I know what you are doing. I asked how they would like it if I took the hooks and stuck them in their mouths. At this point, they were getting nervous, and I told them that I should call the police and have them arrested, and they needed to get out of there right this instant. I also said that I lived nearby, and if I ever saw them doing this again, I was going to use the hooks on them. They ran off. I left with my friend and kept an eye out for the next few weeks whenever I was nearby, but never saw those kids again. Well, that sounds like a horrible case of kids just being kids and not knowing better. I'm glad this individual did go out and stop them because that is animal cruelty. And I don't know if they were trying to catch them to eat or if they were just being unsupervised kids doing dumb stuff. But yeah, just please treat the animals well and only go after them when it's allowed to, like in season and whatnot. That's not okay. And the last post I found in the comment section, I used to work with a petting zoo. The amount of parents that would walk away, leaving their brats with me, against our rules to leave the kid, would stand there on their phone, ignoring the children or standing and smiling at their child while child is injuring animals, was effing ridiculous. I have literally had parents yell at me because I asked their child, no less than 3 times, to handle one of the animals gently or not do a certain thing was every time I worked. I've had a parent smile and laugh as their child was strangling a chick. That's an extreme story and sounds like there's some bad parenting going on, not respecting animals and letting their kids kind of literally get away with murder. All right, guys. Well, that's the story. That's the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.